Thanks to the support as a channel member, Dave Beasley. No, there's got to come a point when you stop selling players out from under me, especially when the deals are dumb. We turned down 575,000 for Zach Redmond in the summer. And yeah, but now you've sold him for 425,000. That's less money. Hello and welcome to part 47 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in League One. We're at home against both Fleetwood and Wimbledon. We could have done a Don's double if we'd have gone one more game. No, there's transfer news I need to show you now. Form-wise, since the last episode, it's all gone a little wrong. The reason I played those two friendlies in there is because we were trying a diamond system because we lost our best winger. Zach Redmond has left the club for £425,000. He's gone to Birmingham. I did try offering him out for he's available for loan. The window's closed now. Oh, he wasn't available for loan when he first went there. That's frustrating. They've put him on the loan list after the window is closed, which is ridiculous. But he's gone. We did offer him out for as low as 300,000 plus a sell-on. Nothing was coming from it. We've got no sell-on for him. We've just sold him for next to nothing. It did give us a little bit of money to be able to pay a loan fee, though, to bring Kieran Hodgkinson home. So he is back. Kieran Hodgkinson, now a 4-star current ability, 5-star potential ability player. Still thinks he's a striker. I'm still going to play him in midfield. He is the best striker at the club, though, apparently, but also the best midfielder at the club. He's just a very good player. He's played 9 games for Fulham in the Championship this season. £80,000 it's cost us to loan him until the end of the season. Plus, we're paying him £5,000 a week in wages. He's the highest paid player in the history of the club by a gazillion miles. But Kieran Hodgkinson's back, which is important. I've just realised as well we couldn't have loaned Zach Redmond back because unlike Hodgkinson and Curry and Bachelorette Pitetta before him, Zach Redmond probably isn't homegrown. He's not. So Zach Redmond is done. He ain't ever coming back because we can only sign players who are homegrown or have the potential to become homegrown. Although I guess if we'd have got him back in that January transfer window on loan, you could have made an argument that he still had the potential to become homegrown because he's still only 20 and another 6 months probably would have got him there. But I think it would have been a difficult argument for me to make. I don't know if it would have worked. But Zach Redmond, we have to just accept he's gone and he ain't ever coming back. But Kieran Hodgkinson is in and he looks good. He played well. I think he came in just before the Rochdale game, helped us turn around our form there. He might have played a couple of games by now. Actually, I might be talking absolute poppycock. And this is what the league table looks like. We're 7th place, 32 games played. So a game in hand over Southend, who are 2 points above us. We're still very much in the mix for the playoffs. Still very much not in a title race. And there's 4 teams separated by 1 point at the top there. 3 of them level on points. So they're definitely the teams that are pushing for the title. We play Wimbledon in the second game in this episode, but I think we've got a good chance of getting into those playoffs if we can sort our form out and be a little bit more consistent. We decided to abandon the diamond. We played it for those 2 friendlies, played it for the 2 games following the friendlies. Colchester putting 5 past us made me just forget it and go back to what we know, which is this, the 4-2-4. But Terrell Whitaker, after years of being out of the side, I mean, I don't remember the last time he was a regular starter. Apparently he started 32 games last year, 25 the year, but he's always been a regular starter. In my head, Jessup and Redmond and Hamilton have been the 3 competing on the wing for a long time. I guess it's just this season I wasn't playing Whitaker. So Terrell Whitaker's back in. It's like nothing ever happened, but we have got our homegrown boys in central midfield, Kieran Hodgkinson and Nathan Curry together in midfield. And Alex Williams now officially our first choice goalkeeper because Oliver Wright has recovered from his broken back. Alex Williams retains his spot in the squad. This is him now for a long, long time. Alex Williams is going to be our goalkeeper. I think it's going to be... We've been very lucky to have a 5-star potential goalkeeper come through our own youth system. I suspect it will be a long time before we have anybody who can knock Alex Williams out of that number 1 shirt, or number 31 shirt. Unless, of course, he's the next one who gets sold out from under me by Mrs Wearmouth. Team for the Fleetwood game then, which they're all must-win games at this point. We're trying to get promoted. We've got Alex Williams in goal, a back four of Campbell, Davies, Charles and Brewerton, Hodgkinson and Curry in midfield, Hamilton and Whittaker out wide, Beerith and Cannon up front. One other piece of news that I forgot, Nathan Curry has had his loan extended for another year, so he's now on loan with us until the end of next season. So Nathan Curry, very much part of the team again. We did try and extend Batarek Pateta's loan. It was all agreed, but then he failed his medical because of his stupid broken ankle. So we'll have to try again in the summer to get his loan extended and get him back for another year. But Curry will definitely be here next year. We'll try to get Kieran Hodgkinson in the summer for another loan. But if we're having to pay that kind of money for him, I think unless we get promoted and end up in the championship with championship money knocking around the place, I think it would be a bit of a long shot to be able to pay £5,000 a week all season long, plus a loan fee for Kieran Hodgkinson, unless he is the best player that's ever played for us and proves it over the course of this running. But then I guess if he does that, he'll drag us into the championship anyway, and it becomes less of an issue. So I suppose the thing is, if he's not great, if he's not a one-man winning machine, we end up in League One, and then we know, well, it's not worth bringing him back because he didn't drag us to promotion last year. So we just apply a little bit, a good old Kev logic to it, and all should be fine. Right, 10 minutes have gone in this game. It's Fleetwood who have got the ball as part of this attack. I would very much like to get the ball off of them and start an attack of our own. Williams has had an absolute howler there. I mean, he's heard me say he's goalkeeper for life, and that's one of the worst pieces of goalkeeping incompetence I've seen in a long, long time. So Fleetwood coming down our right-hand side. Cross comes over. It ends up with Williams, who I guess he does have to keep it out because the cross kind of took a weird diversion towards the goal. But why he hasn't just held on to it rather than pushing it out into the players in front of him, I do not know. Brewerton with a long throw to try and level things up, but their goalkeeper doing what goalkeepers do. He's used his hands and caught the football and just held on to it, which Williams had the option to do, but for some reason chose not to. Curry in midfield now, playing it forward to Beerith. Cannon back with Beerith again, and now Curry and Hodgkinson. Hodgkinson forward to Beerith and Whittaker. Curry and Hodgkinson in midfield are a very nice partnership, and Cannon with the shot goes just over. I'm actually trying to do a little bit of mental maths to work out how many players in the team today actually came through our youth system rather than being players we brought in when they were young. Obviously, we've got Curry and Hodgkinson in midfield, Cannon up front, Williams in goal, Davies at the back. So what's that, 5? And if Batarek Pateta was fit, he would make it 6. That is a beautiful goal from Troy Cannon. That's stupendous. We'll get back to counting in a minute. First, we need to have a look at this goal from the other angle because it's absolutely ridiculous what he's done here. Cannon picks the ball up, plays it into Beerith, but it's actually deflected, and then Whittaker gives it back to him, and he's just hit that, side-footed, first time, floating over the goalkeeper and then dipping down into the back of the net. He's got no right to score a goal like that. It defied physics, but I was going to say it's 1-1. It's not. It's 2-1 because Harrison Davies has decided to nod in a slam dunk corner almost immediately after celebrations finish from the Cannon goal. We were counting full homegrown players who came through our youth system, and 2 of them have now scored in this game, making it 2-1 to home after 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, Alex Williams is forgiven because we've forgot all about it because we are in the ascendancy. Campbell now with the throw, looking for Whittaker, can't find him. It falls to Cannon on the edge of the area. Cannon and Hodgkinson Curry and Hodgkinson just knocking it back and forth between themselves again. And now Beerith, Brewerton. Getting back to counting the youth players, I actually think Cannon, Hodgkinson, Curry were all the same youth intake, the golden generation. I wonder if Williams was part of that generation as well. In fact, he's not. He's younger. He's only 18, isn't he? Whereas these lot are all 20, 21 now. That's a lovely finish from Hamilton. But yeah, with Batarek Pateta fit, that's 6 of the 11 regular starters currently actually came through our youth system. The other 5 being players we signed before their 19th birthdays. So I think we're doing a pretty good job of youth development here at home for the first time ever. I wonder, perhaps a little sub goal as part of the save, not the main goal, but a little thing that would be nice to achieve at some point along the way. At some point before the end of the series, I would like an 11 that all came through our youth system. I don't know how likely that's going to be, and I would imagine the further we get into things, the less likely it is, because as we get into the Championship and the Premier League, we're actually going to start to have a little bit of money to spend on youngsters from around the world, and it becomes less and less likely that they'll all be, youth players at that point. But I guess we might be able to do it in like a League Cup game when we're in our 3rd season in the Premier League or something. And I think it'd just be a nice thing to do, have an 11 that all came through our youth system. It's another lovely finish from Cannon. And after a slow start to this game, we've scored 4 goals in 13 minutes, if my maths is correct, to put us comfortably in control of this game. Although Fleetwood don't seem to have got the memo because they're on the attack again. And once again, trying to test Williams with a cross that, I mean, there's no one challenging it, but they saw how poorly he dealt with the last one of those and have decided to have another go at it. This time he has learned from his mistake and just caught the ball and has then distributed it forward. And we're trying to get another attack up and running. Brewerton playing it forward, looking for Beereth, who flicks it on, trying to find Troy Cannon, but he can't quite get there. And now it's back with Brewerton again. The attack continues with Whitaker and now Hodgkinson, who's, he's pulling all the strings in midfield, isn't he? As everything comes through Kieran Hodgkinson, Nathan Curry's doing all the running. Hodgkinson's just sitting deep, pulling the strings. Not bad for a striker. And Troy Cannon, I think, has heard me say before the match that Kieran Hodgkinson is the best striker at the club and done himself a hold my beer meme. And is that a hat-trick now for Cannon of spectacular goals? Troy Cannon is back. It's not too many episodes ago that I was a little bit worried about him. Managed to call him Troy Parrott in a video because apparently he's someone who's in my head somewhere and I don't know why. But Troy Cannon is definitely back. At half-time, it's Holme 5, Fleetwood 1. A spectacular hat-trick for Cannon. And we're pretty comfortable, looking good for this game. And back up to 6th place. And actually, as things stand, with this game in hand being played, we're actually only 7 points behind Colchester with 13 games remaining. So I said at the start of the episode, we're not in the title race. Maybe we're not because it's a 10-point gap to Bristol Rovers, but automatic promotion is not completely off the agenda if this is how we're going to play for the rest of the season. The problem is we've shown flashes of brilliance at various points this year and they don't sustain themselves for very long. My theory might be, though, that with Hodgkinson in the side, maybe he can help us actually get a run of consistent good form together just by running the match like he is there. Beautiful ball over the top from Hodgkinson. Lovely finish from Hamilton. It's now 6. Somehow Kieran Hodgkinson's only on a 6.8 today. I've seen him control a football match. Nathan Curry alongside him is on an 8. So clearly you get more credit for doing all of the running than you do for being the brains of the operation. But I don't care what his rating is. If I'm seeing us score 6 goals and I'm watching him pull the strings, I'm happy. He is tired though, so we're going to bring on Wentin to play as the playmaker for the final 20 minutes of the game. And Andy Hall can come on for Campbell at left back. And we'll probably make do there for now and just keep an eye on fitness levels for the rest of the game. In fact, Hamilton, there you go. Hamilton's immediately picked up a knock. So Micah Hamilton can come off. Tommy Jessup can come on that left-hand side where he will be a winger. And for the first time in a long time, we go back to 2 wingers. We've got a player from each team. They must have collided because they're both off getting treatment, looking like they're getting treatment from the same physio. Are we sharing a physio with Fleetwood? Because that seems a little bit unnecessary. But Fleetwood are on the attack at the moment. Wentin doing well to nip that move in the bud. And Jessup has now come on for Hamilton. I don't know if it looks like Fleetwood decided to keep their injured player on, which is an interesting idea. Perhaps they'd already used all their substitutes. But 6-1 looks like it's going to be the final score. We are back up to 6th place again. And it looks like Wimbledon have lost because they've moved down the table unless they weren't playing. But Wimbledon, hopefully, going to catch us in good form. If we can beat Wimbledon as well, we are very much back in this promotion hunt, which would be very, very nice. There you go. Troy Cannon ending his goal drought. He'd played 10 hours of football without a goal before that spectacular hat-trick. Boys and girls, Troy Cannon is back. In case you were ever tempted to trust Quick Pick and selection advice all the time, boys and girls, Quick Pick says we should drop Troy Cannon for Tommy Jessup because Tommy Jessup is comfortable playing in this position. Troy Cannon just scored a hat-trick. Let's go and play Wimbledon without any changes from the team that has just put all those goals past Fleetwood and hopefully prove why we don't trust Quick Pick. Outstretch arms, carry on from where you left off last match. And fingers crossed, let's go and do a football, boys and girls. Wimbledon currently 7 points above us in the league, so even a win here doesn't actually move us up the league, but what it could do is start to create a little bit of a gap behind us. Luton there in 7th place, level on points with us, but with a game in hand, are certainly one to keep an eye on, so we need to keep the pressure on by winning games against these teams around us. The more we win, the more secure we'll be in the playoff spots, and the more chance we've got of a late sneak into the automatic promotion places. Williams lumping it forward, looking for Cannon. In fact, he was probably looking for Beerith, but Cannon's come to collect. And now we find Beerith, who flicks on to Hamilton. Hamilton playing it over to Whittaker, who's loving being back in the team. Terrell Whittaker on the right-hand side. Still a right midfielder after all this time. Brewerton with the cross. Cannon flicks onto Hamilton, and Hamilton is there at the far post to grab his 8th goal of the season to put us ahead against Wimbledon, pretty much on the stroke of 20 minutes. 1-0 to home, and I like having Terrell Whittaker back in the side. I've missed him. Brewerton, very good play from Brewerton. Great commentary, Kev. Brilliant stuff. Brewerton, I think I've mentioned before, is one of the five-star potential players still knocking around in the squad. So he's definitely somebody that we're monitoring. The coach report keeps telling me that he's a centre-back, but in a team where we've got Shea Charles and Harrison Davies, Brewerton isn't going to get the game time he needs playing at centre-back. So that's why he continues to play as a right-back. That being said, the coach report also says that Nathan Curry's got a future as a Premier League right-back. So he's not going to be a right-back. I mean, we gave him the number 2 way back when because we pressed auto-pick on the squad numbers and the game thinks he's a right-back. But I can't imagine a situation where I play him regularly at right-back unless we've got spectacular central midfielders and no one available to play right-back. But at the moment, with Brewerton in there as first choice, Cisse as second choice, Curry is very much a central midfielder. And Brentford think he's a central midfielder as well, because when we weren't playing him as a ball-winning midfielder earlier in the year, they got a grumpy on. So not only do they want him playing in central midfield, they are insisting that he plays this role, which isn't necessarily a role that I'd normally use, because, I like a box-to-box midfielder in there. 1-0 at half-time, though. Are Luton playing today? Luton don't seem to be playing, which is why they're getting a game in hand, I guess, because they're not playing right now. So as things stand, this would put us 4 points behind Ipswich, Wimbledon and Crewe, and 7 points behind Colchester. So still a little way away from those automatic promotion spots, but they're not really the ones we're looking at. We're focusing on getting ourselves into these playoffs. Right, Curry's going to come off Wentin in midfield, and we used to play Hodgkinson as the box-to-box midfielder, because when he left, that's when Curry came into the team. So I think we can probably swap those two over, because Wentin is much better as the playmaker, whereas Hodgkinson should be able to do both. We'll also bring Jessup on this left-hand side, and I think it might be time for Danny Pritchard. We've not seen him yet this episode. And Dave's barking, which means postman must be a call. That scared me. Goodness me. Right, no postman, just a really loud, silly dog. And now you've got a clip of me going, whoa, a dog bark, my dog barking. Ridiculous. Right, Pritchard with the flick on, trying to find Cannon and cannot. That's poor. That's because I'm distracted by the kerfuffle chasing Dave around the house that I've just been on. We've got new people moving in next door today, and there's a big removal truck out the front of the house, and Dave does not like people being out the front of the house. So that's why he's now behind me going, don't even know if the mic's picking it up. He's not happy at all that they're out there. Right, Brewerton with the big throw, and there's Troy Cannon with the header for the 14th goal of the season. In your face, quick pick. Troy Cannon scores for us again. It's 2-0 on 83 minutes, and that should be the rubber stamp for a double win episode, which feels like we've not done that in a little while. Our form's been so inconsistent this season. I don't actually keep track of that kind of thing, so it might be that we did it yesterday, and you lot will all tell me how much of a buffoon I am. In fact, you'll definitely tell me I'm a buffoon, because there wasn't even a video yesterday, because it was Saturday yesterday, and Home only comes out on Sundays at the weekend. But I don't know when the last double win was. It's nice to hit some form, though, especially as we're hitting the business end of the season. Final third remaining, and we're in good form. We're playing well. We don't seem to be missing Redmond at the moment. We're sat just at the bottom of those playoffs, knowing that if we keep playing the way we are, we should have another positive end to the season. So tomorrow's video, we're probably going to come back about halfway through these remaining games, see how we're getting on. And then the next day we'll be back for the end of the season, where hopefully we'll be one step closer to the championship. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.